Hello, everyone. Greetings. I am going to give everyone a little minute to get in. For this topic, we're going to talk about, let's talk about PTSD, right? So I'm going to put on a little music, right? Because y'all know I like music. So, and I'm going to play my friend's Ronelia, if I can find it here. Ronelia sings Victory. I'm not going to sing for y'all today, though. Okay, this is not what I was looking for right here.
Turn off the ads and turn up the music. With Amazon Music Unlimited, enjoy ad-free listening with access to 70 million songs. New subscribers get 30 days free.
I don't know what happened right there, y'all. I
Tap or click in the app.
don't know what happened. It must not be meant for me to. It must not be meant for me to put it on. So you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to turn it off. And then I'm gonna go ahead on and get into what I'm supposed to get into today. So that's what I get for trying to do other things, right? Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. But hey, hi everybody doing on this great Thursday evening, Thursday morning. It's morning time, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I with this new venture that I have for a job, sometimes I lose track of what time of day it is or day of the week it is. So please forgive me. I'm going right over here to some of my notes that I have written down. And in reference to this topic that I'm going to be discussing on today, and it's PTSD. As you know, here at You Are Still a Veteran, our goal is to educate and equip veterans to go after the benefits they are legally entitled to, and specifically for the veteran who has transitioned from the military with bad paper, right? And so I have this concept, you have every veteran, you have each veteran, right? And your girl Marsha, Coach Marsha, is here to take care of the each veteran, because you have the Veteran Service Organization that have strategically and successfully takes care of the every veteran. But however, it's a demographic of veterans out there that tends to be overlooked. And that is the veteran who transitioned from the United States Armed Forces, any given branch, with a less than other than honorable discharge. And you might ask, Marsha, what is a less than other than honorable discharge? And I would have to tell you that is now general, that is bad conduct discharge, and that is dishonorable discharge. And usually, when those veterans transition from the United States Armed Forces, those veterans are sometimes led to believe that they are no longer entitled to any benefits that they would have received transitioning from the military with an honorable or other than honorable discharge, right? And I am here to sound the alarm to say that is not true. Why? It's because I am living proof that it's not true. For some of you all who don't know, I transitioned from the United States Armed Forces by way of the Military Correctional Facility, i.e., the brig, for those civilians who don't know what that means. And as a result of that, I transitioned from the military with felony conviction and a bad conduct discharge. So upon returning home from the brig, I decided that I would file my disability claim. I went to several veteran service organizations, and I will not name those, but I was told immediately by the veterans claim agent that I was not authorized any VA benefits because of my character of discharge, which just so happens to be a bad conduct discharge. Now, mind you, I left four organizations feeling very defeated, um wondering why. I really didn't understand how could I have served 11 years in the United States Army but I not be entitled to any benefits, right? So when I reached my last veteran service organization, which also happened to be Virginia Department of Veteran Services, and the veterans claims agent, Mr. Robert White, he went forward and submitted my VA disability claim, even though he was a little hesitant about the outcome, right? So we sat down, we went through the process. VA disability claim was submitted. Months later, I get a letter back saying, "Hey, Miss Martin, thank you for your service. However, unfortunately, you're not entitled, you have no honorable service, so you're not authorized any benefits." Now, mind you, to receive a letter stating that you had no honorable service, and tonight I'll read verbatim what the letter states, but that did not sit well with me. So, what I did, I was like, my God, I served my country 11 years. How could you tell me that I had no honorable service? When in actuality, I had two reenlistments. I had a total of three reenlistments, two were honorable. The last reenlistment was not honorable, which would make sense to me in my mind, right? But that's not what they communicated to me in their decision, right? So, what I did automatically is I began to research, right? And I was like, okay, then. Well, I called back to my veterans claims agent, and he was like, no, it was a she by this time. I was like, hey, veterans claims agent, this does not sit right with me. And even though she did not want to submit the paperwork, I was adamant about submitting the paperwork because I had two honorable reenlistments. So as a result of that, I submitted what they call a notice of disagreement. I was like, okay, you ain't got to write it up. I'll write it up. Write it up. Just tell me what form. I submitted the paperwork, submitted it to her because she just happened to be my representative to communicate with VA. Now, mind you, my veterans claims agent, both did not want to submit my paperwork. But I was adamant, being an advocate for myself, required that, like, hey, you're going to submit this paperwork today. They're going to have to give me a little bit more than a no, that you're not authorized. They're going to have to, I didn't care if it took years for them to go through the appeal process. This is what's going to have to happen today, right? So paperwork gets submitted. It's like, Miss Martin, we are working on your claim. It's going to go to the Veterans Appeal process. Guys, it took 8 years. It took 8 years, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It took 7 years, not 8. It took 7 years before they came back with a decision that stated, you know what, Miss Martin, you are absolutely right. You are entitled to VA benefits. And after reviewing your records, this is what we found. And I became a service connected disabled veteran, guys. So just want to give you a little backstory of who I am and why I do what I do. Okay, moving forward, let's fast forward on here. The topic at hand, PTSD. Now, mind y'all, I cannot see right now if you all was to ask me a question on this thing right here. So what I am going to attempt to do here is bring up multiple screens, right? So work with me here. I'm going to bring up that screen. Let me see what this thing does. Oh, it won't separate the screens out for me though. So what I'm going to have to do then is bring it up over here on my phone. So, hi Luana. I'm going to bring it up over here on my phone so I will be able to see if you all have any questions, okay? And if I can't catch all your questions right now, I will catch them after this and answer them, and then I will I will answer on the Facebook under your question, and then or answer them tonight because I will go more in detail tonight, and I might have a few guests to get on the call with us on tonight, guys. So PTSD, what do you know about it? What do you know about filing a claim about PTSD as a veteran and disability? Let's walk through this and when and what are the different PTSD types? Like, is there just one type? Is there multiple types? And plus, I have to share with you all uh, a process that I had with a PTSD moment. Yes. So, as you all know, there are different types of PTSD. Most are only aware of the one, and that's combat related, right? That's combat related. And the second one is military sexual trauma. But do you know that there are two more? That is personal trauma and fear based. Yes, there are four different types. Really, most only talk about three. The fourth one, which being fear based, can be a little, you know, um, a little more hard to prove. But however, it is a such thing as fear-based PTSD, right? And so, and I want you all to be informed. So when you all go about filing these VA disability claims, you know what you're doing. Now, I know I have my niche, right, for the veterans that transition from the military on bad paper, but this is for all veterans, right? And especially my active members who are still serving. This is something that you need to know. This is something that you need to put in your toolbox so you can be able to look outside of the norm of what you believe is what the only reason why I have to go to combat to be able to be experiencing PTSD. That is a lie. And that's not true, right? And so what I'm going to do is to be able to walk you all through like the different types of PTSD. Am I a subject matter expert with PTSD? Absolutely not. But what I can do is give you some information to be able to equip you to be able to think differently about PTSD and to be able to maneuver and begin to look at things like, wow, okay, I didn't even think about that. And so, specifically, what I'm going to discuss right now is non combat PTSD. And I'm going to give you an example of non combat PTSD, right? And so I went and pulled down, some information for us about in reference to non-combat PTSD. And of course, combat PTSD are derived from combat situations, right? By definition, it involves the veteran having been engaged in combat with the enemy. And in other words, the veteran must have personally participated in events constituting an actual fight or encounter with a military foe or hostile unit, right? But non-combat PTSD situations involve incidents other than engaging in combat with the enemy, right? Non-combat PTSD is situations that's involved with engaging in non-combat situations involve incidents other than engaging in combat with the enemy. Situations engaging in incidents other than with the enemy, right? Combat with the enemy. Non-combat stressors, I want y'all to listen to this, are types of traumatic stressors events associated with non-combat PTSD include natural disasters, hurricanes or floods, accidental disasters, which are like forest fires, life-threatening disease of self or a significant other, duty on burn wards, right, y'all? Nurses assigned to a burn ward aboard a ship or to a medical aid station to the rear of combat forces. That means back here in the rear, right? Graves registration, like detailing, tagging, dead people, right? Tagging the names of service members killed in combat, right? Witnessing the death, injury, or threat to the physical integrity of another person not caused by the enemy, right? This recent shooting of the schools of students, right? Non-combat personal assault examples, right? I keep saying right because I want y'all to get this. Physical assault, domestic battery, robbery or muggings, harassment, stalking. Yes, y'all, harassment or stalking are non-combat and it can be related to PTSD. And I say this, and I want your active members and veterans to just think back. Like, wow, I'm thinking that I'm only authorized to get PTSD because of I have to be in a combat situations, but I've just listed off at least 10 items that are stressors for PTSD that's non-combat related. Let me give you an example, or a live example for me. On Tuesday, I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 a.m., to prepare myself to go to work, right? And I slept downstairs on my couch this particular night. And when I got up, my feet hit the ground and I felt water, right? I was like, oh man, I knocked my water bottle over, and I'm feeling for the water bottle, mind you, no water bottle. So I'm sliding on my slippers and I'm walking and I hear water under my feet, right? So I got the water under my feet, right? So I'm like, okay, what in the heck is this? Right? So I'm walking. I'm like, okay, what is this? I'm looking and I'm like, where did all this water come from? And I was like, did it storm? Automatically, I look up to see because I was like, did I leave my tub? Did my tub overflow or something of that nature? No, my ceiling is still there. And so, but I hear a sound and I'm thinking, my God, that fan is rather loud because y'all know we've been here having this heat wave here in Texas. So I've been having my fan on as well. But as I step into my kitchen, because I always go get me some water when I wake up, automatically water up to above my ankles. I'm like, my God, what is this? So I turn my light on. My kitchen is engulfed in water, standing water that had nowhere to go but to saturate my carpet, saturate my hallway, my vestibule, leading into the rest of my house. My bathroom is flooded. My coat closet is flooded. The water that's coming from the kitchen now is going into, I open up my laundry room. Water is going into my laundry room, right? And so automatically I open up my cabinets to try to shut off the water underneath the sink. But no avail, no water. The water is not going off. It's gushes of water coming from under the sink. When I open up the sink, water just pours out from under the sink. And I see that it's water gushing out. I can see from under the sink, I can see the outside of my backyard, which prompts me to go outside. When I step outside, I step in water. Now, mind you, water from the inside of the house that's going from the kitchen to my coat closet under my steps to now outside. So foundation, like it got to be foundation issues, right? Mind you, I go into my backyard with my flashlight and I have water from the inside of my house gushing on the outside. It has pushed away the water impact is so strong, it has pushed away through the wood and the that's from I don't know. I'm not a plumber. I don't really know. But mind you, water is gushing all through my backyard. When I go to my backyard, I look at the patio. Water from inside the kitchen not only is in the front yard on the concrete, but on the concrete of the patio. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. La 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 la. So I call my friend girl to ask her to have a husband come over to see if he can like use some type of tool or whatever. When he gets like I don't know what to use the tool on. So we end up calling the emergency line for the clean waste management. So they come by my house, they shut the water off, and bam, water's off. I contact my property management company, like, hey, this is what has happened. You gotta have permission to go into my house, la la la. By the time I get home from work, because I still go to work because I'm not sure as to what I can do at home but stress, right? So I get to work, and mind you, I'm at work, but I can still feel this water under my feet. Now, mind you, my socks are dry, my shoes are dry. I'm like, my God, how long had this been running? Because I went to sleep probably like a little after 8 that night. So I don't know when it started running, when did the pipe break or anything, right, guys? And so when I got home that day, I had a real bad attitude at work. And everybody know me. I'm a very easy go person. Not much gets to me, but I had a funky attitude all day from that morning, 4 o'clock in the morning until 10:30 that day. I felt overwhelmed. Only thing I wanted to do was come home and go to sleep. I get in my house, my temperature is like 81 degrees. Anybody knows me and the heat really don't get along. And so I try to go to sleep it off, hoping that I wake up the next morning. I wake up after my nap and it's good, but no, I couldn't sleep because I had the plumbers in the house. I have the assigned maintenance person with my property coming over to the house trying to figure out what's going on. So very miserable day, you know. And then later on that night, like 5 o'clock, I have the extraction team come to do an assessment to figure out what they need to give me instructions. You know what they tell me, y'all? Miss Martin, you got to move all this furniture from downstairs out of the house. We can't do anything until that's done. And mind you, we need this done immediately, right? So I'm thinking, I don't have anyone here to assist me. My son-in-law, he's in at reclass, being reclass. I was like, who can I help? So I figured, oh, wait a minute, I do have friends here. I got my church family, I got my military family here. So I started making calls. And then so like a lot of people, the muscles that we need were not immediately available, right? So a lot of stuff going on. They either at work, got stuff going on. So me and Chief, like I began to move stuff upstairs that I could easily move that wasn't too heavy for me. But then when Chief came over, she said, "Oh, this we got this." So one piece at a time, we began to move the heavy stuff out of the house. And within an hour of me getting the tasker that this needed to be done, I called the extraction team to let them know, "Hey, I'm 95%. 95% everything is moved. I'll call you when the last 5% is done." So probably within 15 minutes, I called. Everything has been 100% moved. You're more than welcome now to bring your team back and start the extraction process of the water. So he comes back, give me a brief. This is what has happened, la la la. I talked to my sister, Josephine, in reference to what's going on. And by her being in property management, she was able to educate me on things to communicate with the proper management team and then what to expect, right? Because I'm calling my property management um, people back like, "Hey, what's your process? What should I expect? La la la." And they didn't really have many answers for me. So I was frustrated, about in tears, because I'm figuring in my mind, this thing should happen quite often. Why can't you just tell me what the process is so I can prepare myself? Because I did not know how to prepare myself, because in my mind, this has never happened to me, right? And that's key. This has never happened to me until I called the insurance company on yesterday. And she said, "Miss Martin, tell me what happened." So I'm telling her the process. And when I got to the part where I told her I felt the water hit right above my ankle, I was taken back to Hurricane Katrina. I wept on the phone to the person, the young lady taking my claim over the phone, because I was reminded of the fear of when I was in the midst of Hurricane Katrina. The first sign of water coming into our home in Katrina, during Hurricane Katrina, was when I went into the kitchen to get some water, and water from outside began to flood into the kitchen by way of the stove. I I ran in the front. I was like, Doc, it's water coming through the stove. It's water coming through the stove. It's a lot of water coming through the stove." And he ran from the back and he began to get um water sandbags, right? And he began to put sandbags at the door, began to stack sandbags up by the stove and by the sink, right? And so, but the water kept coming in, seeping through the sandbags, right? Water was just oozing slowly, but it wasn't the force that it was in the beginning. I did not know, y'all, that I was suffering. I had suffered from non combat PTSD. And at that event during my house being flooded brought me back to an event that happened decades ago, almost 20 years, guys, of Hurricane Katrina. It brought me back to that. Hi, cousin. It brought me back to that event. So, hey, people can suffer from non combat PTSD. I did it Tuesday. I was prompted on Wednesday to be reminded, and I hadn't shared in one of my battle buddies, and I was sharing it with him on today, that hey, he was like, "I never knew that you was in the midst of Hurricane Katrina." I say, "Heck yeah." Well, I didn't say heck, I say HELL. That, yeah, like in the midst, like Lake Pontchartrain right out there in the front of our yard. You seeing boats and tree limbs and everything flowing down your street as if you're in the ocean, guys. Like you're tossed to and fro. You don't know what's the state of your house is going to be, what's the state of you and your family is going to be in that moment. Here I am. I got my baby girls with me. I got my oldest daughter in Mississippi. I got my baby girls. And mind you, this was the place, this was me, this was my family I was leaving my kids with while I prepare to go to Kuwait. Now, mind you, I left my unit on leave to come at 15 Finance to come to at Fort Hood to come and drop my girls off so they can be situated while I go back to Fort Hood so I can be able to go TDY for deployment, right? A non-comeback situation that triggered PTSD that I've been living with all these years and didn't even know it until yesterday. Until yesterday, I had a break. That water, I kept getting up. I keep getting up in the middle of the night to go downstairs and see if water is coming through those pipes. I keep going in the kitchen, checking in the bathroom, checking under the sink to make sure no pipe, I don't have a leak. Checking, making sure that in the tub is no water flowing, overflowing. Checking, going back downstairs, checking the sinks in the bathroom, and the in the bathroom and in the sink, making sure it's not overflowing, making sure the toilets are not. I'm sorry, y'all. Making sure nothing is overflowing, right? I'm telling y'all that the discussion of PTSD has to be had. Most people, most organizations, they focus on comeback PTSD. But I tell you all that you have veterans out here, you have active duty members, you have the dependents of active duty members, you have family members, you have regular everyday civilians suffering from PTSD. Most people say, hey, it has to be a comeback situation. No, that is a lie. That is a lie, guys. That is a lie. And on tonight, I got another engagement that I have to go to shortly. But tonight, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, on all my social media handles. We're ready to have a discussion. I'm ready to tell you how to go about filing, what forms you need to file on. I'm going to be dissecting these individually, giving examples. I should have one of my battle buddies on here to be able to help with defining and bringing about understanding of what this means and the different things that you need to submit to the VA in reference to getting your disability, PTSD specifically, disability claims submitted to the VA. So, on that note, I hope you heard my heart on today, and I want you all to know, like, I'm going to see my therapist for it. I called her on yesterday, like, we need to talk, because I done had some other things pop up, and I don't know how this is going to affect me going forward, but I need to talk to you. So that's where I'm going. So that's why I'm getting off a little early so I can be able to go and talk to her, so she can help me walk through this process. If you need some help, and you know that you're dealing with a non-comeback VA disability or service-connected disability, go get you some help, guys. So on that note, I'll see you here tonight at 7 o'clock. I'll probably get on a little bit early so we can listen to Victory by my friend, my sister, Ronelia Sings. If you're looking for some new music, go out there and hit her up on all music platforms that you can get this song, download this song, most definitely. Have a great day. See you all tonight.